What if Jon Snow accepted Stannis' offer? Let's explore the depths of it in this video. The night is dark and full of theories. What if Jon Snow accepted Stannis Baratheon's offer? What if the bastard of Winterfell became the legitimate Lord Stark, bending the knee to the one true king and marching south to reclaim his home? Would the North rise united? Would the Boltons fall? And what of the greater threats beyond the wall? The Wildlings, the White Walkers, the Long Night itself? Let's dive into this frozen alternate path, exploring the twists, the battles, and the betrayals that could reshape the Seven Kingdoms. Buckle up, because winter isn't just coming, it's here, and it's rewriting history. To set the stage, we need to rewind to that pivotal moment at Castle Black. It's 300 AC, just after the brutal Battle of the Wall. Mance Rayder's massive wildling host has been shattered by Stannis Baratheon's surprise cavalry charge from the east. The king beyond the wall kneels in chains, his people scattered or captured. Jon Snow, the young steward turned commander of the defense, stands bloodied but unbroken, having held the wall against impossible odds. But the Night's Watch is in tatters, Lord Commander Jorah Mormont dead, many brothers slain, and the survivors eyeing Jon with a mix of respect and suspicion. Enter Stannis Baratheon, the iron-willed claimant to the Iron Throne. He's not here just to save the Watch, he's here to win the North. With his Red Priestess Melisandre at his side, whispering of flames and destiny, Stannis sees in Jon a key to unlocking the loyalty of the northern houses. Ned Stark's bastard son, raised as a Stark, with Stark blood in his veins, could be the bridge he needs. In canon, Stannis offers Jon everything: legitimization as Jon Stark, the lordship of Winterfell, even a marriage alliance with the wildling princess Val to bind the free folk to his cause. In return, Jon must bend the knee, pledge his sword to Stannis' war, and allow the burning of Winterfell's ancient godswood to honor the Lord of Light. Jon agonizes over it. Winterfell has always been his dream, a place to call home, without the stain of bastardy, but his vows to the Night's Watch bind him, and the old gods call to him through Ghost, his direwolf, whose red eyes mirror the weirwood leaves. In the end, Jon refuses. He's elected the 998th Lord Commander, stays true to his oath, and the story unfolds as we know: Hardhome, Resurrection, Battle of the Bastards, and beyond. But what if Jon said yes? Picture it, Jon Snow, alone in the dim light of Castle Black's Lord Solar. The election for the new Lord Commander looms, but Stannis' words echo in his mind. Rise again as Jon Stark, the Lord of Winterfell. His half-siblings are scattered or presumed dead. Bran and Rickon burned by Theon, Arya missing, Sansa married off to Tyrion Lannister in the south, Robb, his king and brother, beheaded at the Red Wedding. The Boltons hold Winterfell, flaying men in the name of their flayed sigil. Ramsay Snow now, Bolton rules with terror, and the North bleeds. Jon paces, Ghost at his heels. The direwolf's white fur gleams like fresh snow, his silence a stark contrast to the howling winds outside. Jon kneels before a small weirwood carving he's kept hidden, whispering a prayer to the old gods. Guide me, he murmurs, but the faces in the wood offer no answer. Memories flood him. Robb naming him heir in his will, a secret Jon doesn't yet know, but feels in his bones. The sting of being a bastard, always on the outside. And then, Melisandre's visions in the flame's fire, consuming ice, a crown of light, a knock at the door. It's Samwell Tarly, his closest friend, come to urge him toward the election. Jon, the brothers need you. You're the only one who can unite us. But Jon's mind is elsewhere. What if there's another way, Sam? A way to avenge my family, to take back the North? Sam frowns, confused, but Jon doesn't elaborate. That night, as the voting begins, Jon slips away to Stannis' tent. The king sits rigidly, his jaw grinding like millstones, Melisandre beside him, her red robes pooling like blood. Have you come to bend the knee, Jon Snow? Stannis asks, his voice flat but edged with hope. Jon meets his gaze, steel in his gray eyes. Aye, your grace, I'll be your man. Legitimize me, give me Winterfell, and I'll rally the North to your banner. But the gods would. We'll find another way. The old gods are the North's heart. Burn that, and you burn their loyalty. Stannis narrows his eyes, displeased. Melisandre leans forward, her shadow dancing in the firelight. The Lord of Light demands sacrifice, Lord Snow, but perhaps, in time, Stannis grunts. Very well, for now, kneel. Jon does, laying Longclaw at Stannis' feet. The king draws Lightbringer, its blade glowing with false fire, and taps Jon's shoulders. Rise, Jon Stark, Lord of Winterfell. Word spreads like wildfire through Castle Black. The brothers murmur, some angry at Jon breaking his vows, others envious or relieved. Maester Aemon, blind but wise, pulls Jon aside. The Night's Watch takes no part, my boy, but kings have released men from vows before. Go with the gods' grace. Sam is torn, but supportive. You'll take back Winterfell, Jon, for all of us. As for the election, it proceeds without Jon, perhaps electing Bowen Marsh or another conservative, weakening the Watch's progressive stance toward the wildlings, but Jon now Stark doesn't linger. Stannis wastes no time. He legitimizes Jon by royal decree, sealing it with the Baratheon stag and sending ravens to the northern lords. The true heir of Ned Stark returns. The message reads, Jon's first act, negotiating with the captured Mance Raider. Join us, King beyond the wall. Help me take the north, and your people can settle south of the wall peacefully. Mance, ever the bard, smirks. A Stark offering terms? Aye, but only if you vouch for them against your Red Witch. Jon agrees, earning tentative wildling support. Melisandre insists on the marriage to Val, the fierce wildling woman with honey gold hair. She will bind the free folk to you, my lord. Jon, uncomfortable with arranged unions, meets Val in the yards. She's no delicate lady skilled with a spear, sharp-tongued. So, bastard no, Lord Stark now, think you can tame a free woman? Jon chuckles ruefully. I'd not try to tame you, Val, but together we could forge something new. Their union is pragmatic at first, sealed in a hasty ceremony blending old gods and Ruller rites. No burning trees yet, but tension simmers. With Jon Stark at his side, Stannis' campaign transforms. In canon, Stannis marches on Deepwood Motte with a small force, relying on grit and Melisandre's magic. Here, Jon's name opens doors. They send envoys to the mountain clans, Flints, Wolves, Norries who revered Ned Stark and hate the Boltons. The Ned's boy calls you to arms, Jon writes. Winterfell awaits. The clans respond in force, swelling Stannis' army with hardy fighters accustomed to snow and hardship. Next, the wildlings. Not all join, many distrust the Kneelers, but Tormund Giant's Bane, impressed by Jon's honor in sparing Mance, brings hundreds. You fought fair at the wall, Crower. Wolf will follow you south, but no bending knees. Jon nods. Fight for the north, not the throne. This hybrid force, Baratheon knights, red priests, northern clansmen, wildlings becomes a formidable, if uneasy, alliance. They march first on Deepwood Motte, held by Ironborn under Asha Greyjoy. In canon, Stannis takes it with ease. Here, Jon leads the assault, Ghost at his side, tearing through defenders. Asha surrenders, recognizing Jon from Tales. The bastard wolf thought you'd be taller. Jon offers terms. Yield, and your men live. The Ironborn have no place in the north. Asha, pragmatic, accepts captivity, her insights on Bolton weaknesses proving useful later. As word of Jon Stark's return spreads, more houses waver. The Umbers, split in loyalty, Great Jon captive, Horsebane hedging, receive a personal plea from Jon. Uncle Moors, Small Jon remember the Starks. Ramsay flays your kin, join us. Moors Umber rallies to Jon, bringing men from Last Hearth. Karstarks, too, bitter over Robb's execution of their lord, see Jon as a fresh start, though Alice Karstark still flees to the wall in fear of her uncle Arnulf's treachery, but not all is smooth. Ramsay Bolton, the sadistic lord of Winterfell, laughs at the Ravens. A bastard pretender and a false king? The North will freeze them out. He sends taunts, perhaps a flayed finger purportedly from Theon. Jon's blood boils, but Stannis counsels patience. We march through the snow. The Boltons will come to us. The march south is hellish, as in canon. Blizzards blind them, horses die, men resort to cannibalism and whispers. But Jon's presence changes things. His knowledge of the north guides them, avoiding wolfswood traps, foraging where possible. Val and the wildlings scout ahead, hardy in the cold, Melisandre's. Fires keep morale up, though Jon distrusts her glances his way. The flames show you, my lord, Azor Ahai reborn. Jon brushes it off. I'm no hero of prophecy, just a man taking back his home. Tensions rise with the Red Faith. Clansmen grumble at Rahalar rituals. We follow the old gods, they say. Jon mediates, forbidding forced conversions. Stannis grinds his teeth, but relents. Jon's value outweighs dogma. Davos Seaworth, ever the voice of reason, bonds with Jon over shared lowborn roots. You're more king than most, lad. Don't let the crown crush you. They reach the Crofters' village, snowbound and starving. In canon, this is where Stannis awaits Ramsay. Here, Jon pushes for action. We can't wait for spring. The lakes are frozen, we can cross. Scouts report Bolton forces massing, Ruse cautious, but Ramsay eager. Then, a gift. Theon Greyjoy escapes Winterfell, half mad, seeking Jon. Reek. No, Theon, I betrayed your family. Kill me. Jon, merciful, spares him. Help us take back Winterfell and redeem yourself. Theon reveals secrets moat Kaelin's fall. Fake Arya's identity, Jane Poole. With this intel, Jon and Stannis plan the assault, but betrayal looms. Arnulf Karstark, secretly Bolton allied, plots to strike from within. Melisandre senses it in the flames, warning Jon. Treachery burns bright. Jon confronts Arnulf, Longclaw drawn. You'd sell out your kin for Bolton scraps? A quick trial, Arnulf's head rolls, solidifying loyalty. The Battle of the Ice erupts on frozen lakes. Bolton's charge, led by Ramsay's savagery. Stannis knights form the center, clansmen the flanks, wildlings harassing with arrows. Jon leads the vanguard, ghost a white blur in the snow. For the north, he roars. Ramsay spots him. Bastard, I'll flay you alive. Chaos ensues. Ice cracks under horse weight, swallowing Bolton men. Wildlings use guerrilla tactics. Clansmen charge with axes. Stannis' light cavalry bolstered by Jon's recruits' flanks. Jon clashes with Ramsay personally. Longclaw meets Ramsay's blade, sparks flying. You burned my brothers, Jon growls. Ramsay sneers. They screamed pretty. Jon disarms him, but spares the killing blow for now. You'll face northern justice. The Boltons break. Rose flees, but is captured by Tormund. Ramsay, chained, spits defiance. Victory. Stannis claims the field, but credits Jon. The north is yours, Lord Stark. As they march on Winterfell, gates open turncloaks inside. Inspired by Jon's name, overthrow guards. Jon enters the Great Hall, heart-pounding. The crypts call to him Ned's statue, Lyanna's. Father, I'm home. But whispers of Robb's will arrive via Raven naming Jon heir. Legitimized twice over, his claim is ironclad. Val at his side, they wed properly under the weirwood, old gods witnessing. No burning the heart tree stands, yet shadows linger. South, Tommen sits the throne, but Stannis eyes King's Landing. You'll march with me, Lord Stark? Jon hesitates. The north needs rebuilding, and beyond the wall, the true enemy stirs. Melisandre smiles enigmatically. The great other comes. You will fight him, Azor Ahai. But that's just the beginning. With Jon as Lord of Winterfell, how does Sansa factor in? Escaping the Vale? What of Bran beyond the wall? Or Arya in Braavos? And the White Walkers without Jon at the watch? Does Hardhome happen? Does the wall fall sooner? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this what if, where one choice bends the knee of fate itself. With Jon Stark now ensconced as Lord of Winterfell, the North begins to heal under his steady hand. The Boltons are defeated, their flayed banners torn down and burned in the courtyard fires. Rose Bolton, ever the calculating schemer, meets his end at Stannis' command, beheaded cleanly, his body displayed as a warning to traitors. Ramsay, however, Jon insists on a different fate. Let him face the justice of those he wronged, Jon declares. The bastard of Bolton is dragged before the assembled northern lords, where survivors of his atrocities flayed men from House Serwyn, widows from the Red Wedding, recount his crimes. In the end, Jon sentences him to the block, but not before Ramsay sneers one last time. You'll never be a true Stark bastard. Longclaw swings, and the north breathes easier. Stannis Baratheon, true to his word, cedes Winterfell to Jon without contest, but the king lingers, his army camped in the Wolfswood, recovering from the battle's toll. The Iron Throne awaits, Stannis says in the Great Hall, maps of the 7 kingdoms spread before him. Tommen the Bastard sits my seat, propped by Lannister gold. You'll bring your banners south, Lord Stark? Jon, seated in his father's chair for the first time, feels the weight of it. The North has bled enough, your grace. We've wolves to feed, walls to mend. And the wall, reports come daily of stirrings beyond. Wildlings fleeing something worse than us. Melisandre, ever watchful by the hearth, interjects softly. The night is dark and full of terrors, my lord. The great other marches. You are the prince that was promised. Jon shifts uncomfortably, Ghost growling low at his feet. I've no time for prophecies. But if the dead rise, we'll need every sword here. In the days that follow, Jon sets to work rebuilding. Ravens fly to every holdfast. Hornwood, Serwyn, Glover, Mormont. The Stark in Winterfell calls you home. The message is read. Lyanna Mormont, the fierce young lady of Bear Island, arrives first, her small frame belying her iron will. We bent to Boltons out of fear, she says, kneeling briefly. But Starks? We follow with hearts. Jon raises her up. No more bending. We stand together. The Manderleys come next. Wyman, with his sly grin and hidden loyalties, revealed he'd been plotting against Boltons all along. His Frey pies, a whispered legend. White Harbor is yours, Lord Stark, and our fleet should you sail south. But not all houses rush to swear fealty. The Dustons and Risewells, bitter over old grudges, send cautious envoys. Lady Barbary Dustin, with her sharp tongue, meets Jon in the crypts. Ned Stark buried my husband here, but not his bones. Why should I trust his bastard? Jon meets her gaze. Because I'm no Ned, but I'll honor the dead and the living. Help me, and your grievances end with the Boltons. She relents grudgingly, her forces bolstering the garrison. Val, now Lady Stark, proves invaluable. The wildlings settled in the Giftlands south of the Wall grumble at kneeling, but Val's presence eases tensions. She rides with Jon through the villages, her spear at the ready. Your kneelers fear us, she teases one night in their chambers. But we'll fight for you, Jon Stark, for a home. Their marriage, born of politics, warms slowly. Jon finds in her a fierce partner, unafraid to challenge him. Don't let that red woman whisper in your ear, Val warns. Her god hungers. Meanwhile, Stannis presses his claim. He demands the gods would burn, as promised. The Lord of Light gave us victory, he insists. Jon refuses outright. Burn it and you lose the North. The old gods watched over this battle. Stannis grinds his teeth, but Davos advises compromise. Let him keep his trees, your grace. We need his men. Instead, Melisandre performs rituals in the camp, her fires drawing curious northerners. Some convert, lured by warmth in the endless winter, but most cling to the weirwoods. Tension simmers, clashes between red priests and old faith followers erupt in the yards. Word from the Wall arrives via Raven, Bowen Marsh elected Lord Commander, his conservative rule straining relations with remaining wildlings. No more letting through the gates, the message reads. The watch holds, but barely. Jon dispatches Tormund with a small force northward. Aid them if you can, he instructs. The true war comes. Tormund laughs. You crows Starks now always brooding, but I will watch for the dead. Far to the south, ripples from Jon's choice spread. In the Vale, Sansa Stark, disguised as a Lane Stone, hears whispers of a Stark risen in the north. Littlefinger, ever scheming, smiles. Your bastard brother plays at Lord. This changes things. Sansa, hardened by King's Landing and the Eyrie, feels a spark of hope. Jon, alive and Lord? She plots her escape, perhaps sooner than in canon. With Harry the heir's betrothal looming, Sansa slips away during a tourney, aided by loyal knights who remember Ned. She rides north, evading pursuit, her direwolf dreams guiding her. In Braavos, Arya Stark, now no one in the House of Black and White, overhears sailors' tales. A Stark retakes Winterfell, Boltons flayed and done. The name Jon pulls at her. My brother, she whispers. Abandoning her faceless training earlier, Arya stows away on a ship bound for White Harbor. I'm going home. Beyond the Wall, Bran Stark trains with the three-eyed crow, his visions piercing time. He sees Jon in Winterfell, crowned in weirwood leaves. The wolf returns, Bloodraven murmurs. But the ice advances. Bran sends dreams to Jon, warnings of whites and others, urging unity. Jon wakes sweating, ghost howling. Bran, alive? He dispatches scouts north, seeking green seers or signs. Back in Winterfell, Jon uncovers Robb's will in the crypts, hidden by maesters loyal to the young wolf. It names him heir, bastard or no, twice legitimized, Davos quips. The gods favor you. But with legitimacy comes envy. Some lords murmur, what of trueborn Starks? Sansa lives, they say. Jon vows to welcome any siblings, but prepares defenses. Stannis, impatient, marches south with half his force, leaving Selyse and Shireen in Winterfell for safety. Melisandre stays too, her eyes on Jon. The flames call you south, she says. Jon resists, focusing on the north. He fortifies Moat Cailin against Ironborn remnants, negotiates with Howland Reed in the Neck. The Crannogman reveals hints of Jon's parentage, but swears secrecy. Your mother, Lyanna, but the time's not yet. As winter deepens, reports from the Wall worsen. Wildlings mass at Hardhome, besieged by the dead. Without Jon as Lord Commander, Marsh refuses aid. Let them freeze. Jon, horrified, rallies a force. We can't abandon them. Val agrees. My kin are there. Jon leads an expedition north. Wildlings, clansmen, Stark men. They sail from Eastwatch, battling storms. At Hardhome, chaos reigns. Whites swarm the beaches, blue-eyed horrors rising from the sea. Jon wields Longclaw, its Valyrian steel biting through the dead. Fire! Burn them! He shouts. Melisandre's priests aid with flames, but losses mount. Jon rescues thousands, including Cotter Pike's survivors. Among them, a giant 1-1 swears to Jon. Kneeler King? No, but Wolflord, aye. Returning to Winterfell, Jon integrates the wildlings, settling them in empty holdfasts. Tensions flare, northerners fear savages, but Jon's firm rule holds. They're our shield against the dead, he declares in council. Stannis, hearing of the rescue, approves via Raven. Good, more swords for my war, but the king's southern campaign falters. Without full northern support, Stannis besieges the Dreadfort, or clashes with Freys in the Riverlands. Jon sends token aid Umbermen, perhaps, but keeps the bulk home. The north first, he insists. Sansa arrives in White Harbor, escorted by Manderly knights. Their reunion in Winterfell's hall is tearful. Jon, brother, he embraces her. Lady Stark, Winterfell is yours too. Sansa brings news of the Vale's knights, potential allies. Littlefinger schemes, but I escaped him. Jon distrusts Pater Baelish, sending assassins, perhaps Arya, arriving soon after. Arya slips into Winterfell disguised, testing Jon. You don't know me anymore. He recognizes her instantly. Needle, laughter, and tears follow. The Stark siblings reunite Jon, Sansa, Arya, strengthening their hold. Bran sends a raven. I'm coming home. The weirwood waits. With family restored, Jon turns to the greater threat. Scouts report the others marching south, the wall trembling. The long night comes, Melisandre warns. Jon forges dragonglass weapons, mined from Skagos. He allies with giants, trains men against whites. Stannis falls in the south perhaps to Freys, or Lannisters his claim dying with him. Melisandre flees north, burning Shireen in desperation, but Jon intervenes. No sacrifices. He spares the girl, adopting her as ward. As the dead assault the wall, Jon rallies the north. Without his canon death and resurrection, his Targaryen blood awakens differently perhaps in battle, fire not burning him. I'm no dragon, he says, but leads the charge. The battle for the dawn unfolds at Winterfell. Others breach the wall marshes, weakness dooms it earlier. Whites swarm, but Jon's preparations hold. Bran, arriving with Meera, wargs into Weirwoods, blinding the Night King. Arya strikes from shadows. Sansa commands archers. In the Godswood, Jon faces the Night King. Longclaw shatters ice, but Valyrian steel prevails. For the living, the others crumble. Dawn breaks. Post-victory, Jon rules a united north. Sansa weds a loyal lord. Arya explores. Bran advises as Green Seer. South, Daenerys lands Jon's aunt. Revelations come. Rhaegar and Lyanna. King in the north, or more. But Jon bends no knee. The throne's a wheel, I'll break it. Alliances form against Cersei, but Jon's choice echoes honor, family, duty. Yet in this path, shadows linger. Without watch vows, Jon's arc shifts no king in the North chant, but a steadier rule. Stannis' fall weakens Baratheons, but strengthens Starks. The North remembers. And so, in this what-if, Jon's acceptance reshapes Westeros. A Stark endures, the Night defeated, but at what cost? The Game of Thrones plays on. As the long night recedes, Jon Stark stands atop Winterfell's battlements, Ghost at his side, Val's hand in his. The North, scarred but unbroken, looks to him. But ravens bring word from the south. Daenerys Targaryen has crossed the narrow sea with dragons and armies, her eyes on the Iron Throne. Whispers of Jon's true parentage Rhaegar and Lyanna spread from Howland Reed's lips, confirmed by Bran's visions. "You're no bastard," Bran tells him in the crypts. "You're the heir," Jon reels. "Ned lied to protect me," Sansa urges caution. "This changes everything. You could claim the throne," Arya scoffs. "Thrones are for fools. Stay here, where we belong." But Melisandre, ever persistent, sees opportunity. Azor Ahai wields fire. Dragons are fire made flesh. Stannis' death ambushed by Frey forces in the Riverlands leaves a vacuum. His remaining men, led by Davos, flock to Jon. "He named you ally," Davos says. Finish what he started. Jon, reluctant, sends envoys south. Will aid against Lannisters, but the North stays independent. Daenerys lands in Dragonstone, her conquest swift. Tyrion Lannister, her hand, hears of the Northern Lord, with Stark and Targaryen blood, a potential ally or rival. Dany invites Jon to parley. He sails south, Longclaw at his belt, Ghost aboard. Their meeting crackles with tension. "Cousin," Dany says, dragons circling overhead. Jon bows slightly. "Queen, the North needs aid dragonglass, fire against the dead, but the dead are gone, the others shattered." Dany eyes him. "And what do you offer?" Jon pledges northern steel against Cersei, but no knee, the North remembers. Romance sparks? In this timeline, without Ygritte's loss fresh, Jon's heart is with Val, but Dany's fire calls to his blood. "We could rule together," she proposes. Jon demurs. "I've a wife, a home." The war for the Dawn's aftermath sees Cersei besieged in King's Landing. Jon's forces join Dany's wildlings, Northerners, Valyrian steel wielders. Euron Greyjoy's fleet burns under dragonfire. Theon redeems fully, storming the Red Keep. Cersei falls, wildfire claiming her. Dany takes the throne, but madness whispers perhaps from losses. Jon, sensing it, withdraws north. The wheel breaks here. Revelations public. Jon as Aegon Targaryen. The realm splits, some hail him king, but Jon abdicates. "I want no crown." He returns to Winterfell, ruling as Stark. Years pass. Peace holds. Dragons nest in the north. Bran guides from the Weirwood. Arya adventures across seas. Sansa governs the Vale through marriage. In this alternate fate, Jon's choice saves the North sooner, averts his death, but alters destinies. No bastard bull, no resurrection scars. A stronger Stark legacy, a tempered Targaryen rise. But what if Stannis lived, or the others won? Endless theories branch. For now, in this path, the song of ice and fire harmonizes under a Stark banner. Jon Stark's rule brings prosperity amid winter's grip. Farms in the Gift yield under wildling hands, trade with White Harbor booms. He builds glass gardens, inspired by old Nan's tales, feeding the hungry. Religious strife fades. Melisandre departs south, her influence waned. Shireen stays, tutored by Sansa, a Baratheon Stark bond. From the Iron Islands, Asha Greyjoy, freed after capture, sues for peace. Theon's kin asks mercy. Jon grants it, allying against Euron. In Essos, ripples. Without Jon's watch command, fewer wildlings south means less chaos, but the walls fall accelerates the long night. Yet Jon's early action averts greater doom. Parentage reveal, Sam Tarly, fled from the watch, arrives with tomes. Gilly found at Rhaegar's annulment. Jon confronts his identity. "I'm no king," but Dany presses claim. Their alliance frays. Stannis' fire temps burns perhaps King's Landing aflame. Jon opposes. "Not like your father." Conflict brews. alternate battle. If Stannis survives, he claims throne, Jon is hand, but Stannis' rigidity clashes with Jon's mercy. Fan theories diverge. Some say Jon sacrifices for Dany, others he weds her, uniting houses. In books, perhaps darker Jon burns Godswood, losing Northern soul. Here, he stays true. The North endures, a beacon. As seasons turn, Jon ages, Val-bearing heirs Starks, with wildling fire. Ghost pups roam, the realm heals, thrones forgotten. Thus ends our dive. What ifs linger, but Jon's yes reshapes all. With the long night defeated, and the others shattered into icy oblivion, Jon Stark turns his gaze southward, where the Game of Thrones still rages. Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons, has landed on Dragonstone with her unsullied Dothraki hordes, and 3 fire-breathing beasts, ravens from the Citadel, confirm it. Dragons sighted over Blackwater Bay, the last Targaryen returns. Jon, in Winterfell's solar, pores over maps with Sansa and Arya. "She's my blood," he says, Bran's revelation still fresh. But what does she want from us? Sansa, ever cautious, replies, "The throne, and perhaps you, if the whispers are true." Arya snorts. "Let her come, we've faced worse than flying lizards." Jon dispatches Davos south as envoy. Seek terms, Onion Knight, the North bends no knee, but will ally against Lannisters. Davos, loyal as ever, sails with a small retinue, bearing gifts, dragonglass daggers, a weirwood sapling. "To show our faith," Jon explains. Meanwhile, Val births their first child, a boy with dark hair and gray eyes. Rhaegar, Jon names him, honoring the father he never knew. The North celebrates, bonfires lighting the snows, but omens trouble Jon. Ghost howls at moons, Bran dreams of fire consuming ice. In the South, Cersei Lannister clings to the Iron Throne, her wildfire cache is ready. Euron Greyjoy, with his Iron Fleet, raids the coasts, his eye on the Queen. "I'll gift her dragons' heads," he boasts. Daenerys, advised by Tyrion, strikes first at Casterly Rock, her dragons roasting Lannister forces. "The rains weep o'er their halls," Tyrion quips, but she hungers for allies. Davos arrives at Dragonstone, kneeling briefly. Lord Jon Stark sends greetings, your grace. He offers friendship and warnings of the dead. Dany, silver hair gleaming, listens. "The dead? I've heard tales, but the living throne is mine." Davos reveals Jon's heritage subtly. Has Ned Stark's kin, and more. Intrigued, Dany summons Jon. Let the wolf come to the dragon. Jon sails south, leaving Sansa as regent. Val insists on joining. "I'm no Southron lady to wait." Arya tags along, disguised as a guard. "Someone's got to watch your back." The journey is tense. Storms battered their ships. Ironborn's sightings reported. At Dragonstone, Jon meets Daenerys on the beach, Drogon looming. "Aunt," he says quietly. Stannis' eyes widen. "Nephew, prove it." Bran had sent a vision-sealed letter. Howland Reed's sworn account enclosed. Rhaegar wed Lyanna in secret. You're Aegon Targaryen. Jon shakes his head. "I'm Jon Stark. Names don't change who I am." Their alliance forms uneasily. Dany admires Jon's honor. He respects her fire. "Together, we end Cersei," she declares. Jon pledges northern forces, wildlings under Tormund, clansmen, Mormont bears, but he warns, the throne corrupts. "Break the wheel, as you say." Tyrion, sensing chemistry, advises Dany, "Wed him, unite ice and fire." But Jon's heart is Val's. "I've a wife," he tells Dany privately as they walk the obsidian caves, "and a son." Dany hides disappointment. "Then allies we remain." The war escalates. Euron's fleet ambushes Stannis' ships off the gullet, the silence leading. Jon, aboard a northern longship, fights back-to-back with Arya. "Stick 'em with the pointy end," she yells, needle flashing. Ghost tears throats. Val's spear impales reavers. They capture Yara Greyjoy, freed from Euron's clutches. "Uncle's mad," she gasps. "He's got a horn, claims it binds dragons." Jon sends her north for safekeeping, allying with remaining Ironborn against Euron. At the Field of Fire 2.0, Stannis dragons incinerate Lannister armies marching from the Westerlands. Jon leads ground forces, Longclaw cleaving Golden Lions. For the North, his men roar. Jaime Lannister charges Jon, Kingslayer versus bastard turned lord. You're no Stark, Jaime sneers. Jon parries. Ned raised me better than your lot. He disarms Jaime, sparing him. Yield and live. Jaime, honor-bound, bends the knee to Dany. The Queen's mercy, he mutters. Cersei, raging in the Red Keep, plots. Burn them all, she whispers to Qyburn. Wildfire traps line the city. Euron arrives, Valyrian steel armor gleaming. Marry me, and I'll kill the dragon bitch. Cersei agrees, a twisted union sealed, but spies Varys' little birds whisper to Tyrion. The city's a tinderbox. The siege of King's Landing begins. Stannis forces encircle, dragons circling. Jon advocates caution, no burning innocents. Dany, tempted by vengeance, hesitates. Arya infiltrates, assassinating key guards. Faces serve well, she grins. Inside, Cersei confronts Jaime, now prisoner. Traitor brother, he retorts. For once, do right. The mountain guards her, but the hound Sandor Clegane arrived with Jon's host challenges. Clegane Bowl, men whisper, brothers clash. Fire and steel. Sandor wins, but burned badly. Euron blows his horn, Dragonbinder echoes. Rhaegal thrashes, eyes wild. Mine! Euron crows from the walls, but Val, with wildling lore, shoots a dragonglass arrow into the horn, shattering it. Rhaegal frees, roasts Euron. Gates breach. Jon leads the charge, Ghost at 4. No sacked city, he commands. Dothraki heed, barely. In the throne room, Cersei awaits, pregnant with delusion. Dany enters, Jon beside. Sister killer, Dany accuses. Cersei laughs. Fire and blood yours. She ignites a fuse, but Tyrion had sabotaged. No boom. Jon arrests her. Justice, not vengeance. Dany nods, reluctantly. Cersei trials, executed by Dragonfire poetic end. Dany claims the throne, but madness creeps. Bend or burn, she demands of lords. Jon confronts. This isn't breaking the wheel, it's forging a new one. Whispers of his claims spread. Aegon's alive! Sansa arrives, pushing independence. The North remembers. Tensions boil at the great council lords gather in the pit. Bran reveals all via Weirwood net. Jon Aegon has the blood. Dany offers marriage. Rule with me. Jon refuses. I've no want for thrones. Arya whispers, she'll burn us. In a heated argument, Dany orders Drogon to Dracarys Jon, but fire doesn't burn him Targaryen proof. What? Dany gasps. Jon, saddened, disarms her. Exile Aunt, across the sea, unsullied escort her east, dragons following, the wheel breaks. Council elects Bran king, who better than he who sees all? Jon declines crown. I'm a Stark, North independent, Jon king there. Sansa queens the Vale and Riverlands. Arya sails west, Tyrion hand, Davos master of ships. Years pass. Jon rules wisely, Val queen, children playing in snows. Peace holds, dragons wild in north, but scouts report Associ stirrings. Donnis return? The song continues, Bran says. In this timeline, Jon's choice cascades. Stannis' aid wins north early, averts Jon's death, tempers Stannis' fire. Starks thrive, Targaryens tempered, Westeros heals, but threats linger. Jon reflects in crypts. Father, was this the path? Lyanna's statue seems to smile. Ghost nuzzles. Home, at last. Yet alternate branches. If Dany wed Jon, united realm. If Cersei won, tyranny. Theories abound. But here, ice and fire balance. The North prospers under Jon Stark's rule. Trade routes opening with wildling settlements thriving in the new gift. Skagosi unicorns traded for southern silks. White Harbor's fleet expanded with iron-born longships seated by Yara, now Lady of Pike, allied through Theon's redemption. We reave no more, she vows at council. Jon nods. Build instead. Religious harmony prevails. Old gods dominant, but R'hllor temples and ports for sailors. Melisandre, exiled south, founds a sect in Dorne. Her prophecies faded. Shireen Baratheon weds Jon's second child, a daughter binding houses. South, Bran's reign is enigmatic. The three-eyed king, small folk call him. Green Seers advise, Weirwood's replanted, Tyrion rebuilds King's Landing, sewers and schools. No more slums, he declares. Sam Tarly, Grand Maester, forges new chains dragonglass links for northern lore. Arya returns from west, tales of new lands. Beyond sunset, strange folk. She trains faceless arts in Winterfell, a shadow guard. Dany in Essos rebuilds Freesmore cities, but isolation breeds regret. I lost the nephew I never knew. Drogon nests in Valyria ruins. Jon ages, grey in beard, Val fierce beside. Their son Rhaegar weds a Mormont, blending houses. The pack grows, Jon smiles, but shadows. White Walker remnants, Essosi invasions. Jon prepares, ever vigilant. Thus, Jon's yes reshapes fate a north strong, realm balanced, endless what-ifs, but this path endures. As the years stretch on in this alternate Westeros, Jon Stark's decision to accept Stannis' offer continues to echo through the annals of history, weaving a tapestry far different from the one we know. With the Iron Throne now occupied by Bran the Broken, the kingdoms enter an era of uneasy peace, but the scars of war run deep, and new threats simmer beneath the surface. Jon, ever the reluctant leader, focuses on fortifying the North against whatever may come next, drawing on the lessons learned from his alliance with Stannis and the battles that followed. In Winterfell, daily life takes on a rhythm of reconstruction and vigilance. The Great Keep, once desecrated by Bolton flayers, now bustles with activity. Smiths forge dragonglass-tipped arrows in the armory, a precaution against any lingering wights that might stir in the far north. Jon establishes a new order of rangers, blending Night's Watch veterans with wildling scouts, led by Tormund Giantsbane. We'll patrol beyond the ruins of the Wall, Jon commands during a council meeting. The dead may be gone, but the cold never forgets. Tormund grins, his red beard flecked with frost. Aye, and if they rise again, we'll piss on 'em till they melt. Val, Queen in the North, proves a formidable consort. Her wildling heritage brings fresh customs to the court feasts under the stars, where stories of the true North are shared around bonfires. She bears Jon 2 more children, a daughter named Lyanna, with fiery spirit and honey hair, and another son, Eddard, sturdy and solemn. Our blood mixes ice and a free folk fire, Val tells Jon one night as they watch the aurora dance overhead. Jon pulls her close. It's stronger for it. Ghost, aging but still vigilant, sires a litter with a wild she-wolf, their pups distributed to loyal houses as symbols of unity. Sansa, now Queen of the Vale, and Lady Paramount of the Trident, visits often, her entourage bringing southern elegance to the Stark halls. The Riverlands heal slowly, she reports, over mulled wine in the solar. Frays are scattered, but old grudges linger. Jon offers aid grain shipments, builders from the mountain clans. Where family, the pack survives. Their bond, forged in adversity, strengthens alliances. Sansa's marriage to a Arryn cousin secures the East, while her diplomacy woos the Tullys back into the fold. Arya, the Wanderer, becomes a legend. After her voyages west, she returns with maps of unknown lands, jungles teeming with strange beasts, cities of gold. I found no end to the sea, she tells Bran via Raven. Only more beginnings. In Winterfell, she trains elite assassins, her known skills honed for protection, not vengeance. If shadows come, we'll be ready, she assures Jon, demonstrating a water dance in the yard. Bran's kingship in the south is a study in quiet power. From the Red Keep, renamed the People's Hall, Tyrion orchestrates reforms. No more kings elected by blood, he proclaims in edicts, councils for each kingdom. Davos, master of ships, patrols the narrow sea, curbing piracy, smugglers turned. Honest, he jokes, Sam Tarlis Citadel reforms bring knowledge north, books on agriculture, medicine, even dragon lore. We found eggs in Valyria scrolls, Sam writes. Jon ponders hatching them, but decides against. We fire enough. Daenerys' exile weighs on Jon. Reports from Essos speak of her building a new empire, free cities united under her banner, but whispers of tyranny. She burns slavers, but spares none who oppose, Varys' successors report. Jon sends envoys, offering olive branches. Come home, Aunt, the North welcomes dragons. but pride keeps her away. Drogon and kin roam the smoking sea, wild and free. Cersei's fall reverberates, her children Tommen, Myrcella dead, in canon, but here, perhaps spared in mercy. No, in this path, Tommen's puppet reign ended with Stannis' earlier push, but echoes linger. Jaime, redeemed, serves as Kingsguard to Bran, his golden hand a reminder. I saved the city once, he tells Jon during a visit. You saved the realm. Euron's defeat inspires ballads, the Kraken's horn, sung in taverns, his Valyrian artifacts captured, studied by Meisters. Magic fades, they conclude, but Jon keeps vigilance. As decades pass, Jon grows old, his hair silver like Dany's. Val passes first, in a hunting accident spear in hand, as she lived. Jon mourns deeply, ghost howling for days. His children rule jointly, Rhaegar as heir. Father, what of the throne? They ask. Jon smiles. It's a chair, we have hearths. Bran abdicates to a council, dissolving monarchy. Stories end, he says. Westeros becomes a confederation, North independent but allied. In twilight, Jon visits crypts. Did I choose right, Robb, father? Visions comfort Stannis, nodding approval, Ned's proud gaze. This what-if closes. Jon's acceptance forges enduring peace, Stark's eternal. But in Aes Oiaf's grim world, happy endings are rare. Perhaps a new threat from beyond Ashai, or resurgent others. The night is dark, yet for now, winter thaws, spring blooms. Jon Stark's legacy, honor prevailing. The script delves deeper into familial dynamics. Jon's relationship with his children emphasizes blending cultures. Rhaegar learns Valyrian from scrolls. Lyanna wields a spear like her mother. Your Starks and more, Jon teaches. Sansa's court in the Eyrie becomes a hub of intrigue. Littlefinger's shadow long gone, executed for treasons. I outplayed him, she confides to Jon. Arya's Academy trains women warriors, breaking traditions. No more helpless ladies, she declares. Bran's visions reveal alternate paths, one where Jon bent to Dany, birthing tyrants, another where Stannis burned the godswood, alienating all. Choices matter, Bran intones. Daenerys' arc twists perhaps redemption, returning humbled, wedding a Dothraki call, her dragons nesting in Winterfell. But, in this telling, exile suits. Economic booms. Northern mines yield obsidian, traded for Dornish wine. Wildling crafts bone carvings. Furs fetch high prices. Military reforms. Yon's rangers evolve into a standing army. Dragonglass standard issue. Cultural shifts. Festivals honor old gods and R'hllor, fostering tolerance. Personal growth. Jon grapples with Targaryen blood, dreaming of dragons. Am I wolf or fire? He concludes both. Val's influence, wildling laws, integrated merit over birth. Siblings' fates, Bran weds a reed, Greenseer line continues. Sansa mothers heirs, Arya remains childless, free. Theon's end, knighted, guards Iron Island's liaison. Davos retires to Cape Wrath, but visits. You did good, lad. As Jon fades, a comet streaks sign of new era. Thus, the saga concludes. Jon's yes, a pivot to hope. In fan theories, some posit Jon's acceptance weakens Watch, hastening walls fall. Others see stronger North, toppling Lannisters sooner. Debates rage on legitimacy, Stannis' decree versus Robb's will. As the wheel of time turns in this reshaped Westeros, Jon Stark's legacy endures beyond his mortal years, a testament to the pivotal choice he made at Castle Black. With the North independent and prosperous, alliances forged in fire and ice hold the realm in a fragile balance. Yet, as Bran the Broken's council governs the South from King's Landing, now a hub of elected representatives rather than King's whispers of unrest stir. Old grudges fester in the shadows, and across the narrow sea, Daenerys Targaryen plots her return, her dragons grown wild and fierce in the ruins of Valyria. Jon, in his twilight years, senses the gathering storm. Peace is never eternal, he tells his son Rhaegar one crisp morning in Winterfell's Godswood. Guard what we've built, but remember, the North remembers. Rhaegar Stark, heir to Winterfell, grows into a leader, blending his father's honor with his mother's wielding resilience. Trained in sword and spear, he weds a Mormont daughter, binding Bear Island closer. Their union produces heirs who carry Targaryen blood unknowingly, at first revealed only when a dragon egg, smuggled north by Tyrion Lannister as a gesture of goodwill, hatches under the hot springs. "Fire in the north," Jon murmurs, watching the hatchling's scales gleam like obsidian. Melisandre's prophecies echo. Azor Ahai's line endures, but Jon forbids taming it wildly. Dragons are tools, not tyrants. Let it roam free until needed. Lyanna Stark, Jon's daughter, inherits Val's fierceness, becoming a ranger captain patrolling the new gift. She leads mixed patrols of wildlings and kneelers, quelling skirmishes with resurgent Ironborn raiders under Yara Greyjoy's successors. The sea calls them, Lyanna reports to her father, but will drown their ambitions. Her marriage to a Flint clansman strengthens mountain ties. Her children raised on tales of the Long Night. Eddard Stark, the youngest, studies with maesters in White Harbor, delving into Sam's reformed Citadel lore. He uncovers ancient texts on the others, warning of cycles. The cold returns every millennium. Jon heeds this, fortifying the ruined wall with new outposts, manned by giants like one's kin. Sansa's realm in the Vale and Riverlands thrives as a diplomatic powerhouse. Her court in the Eyrie hosts summits, mediating disputes between Bran's council and independent kingdoms like Dorne. The game evolves, she writes Jon. No thrones, but influence reigns. Her heirs, through marriage to a Tully, reclaim Riverrun, erasing Frey stains with new bridges, literal and figurative. Arya Stark's adventures yield fruits. Maps of western lands bring exotic trade spices, silks, strange beasts. Her shadow guard, trained in Bravo Sea arts, protects Winterfell from assassins. Faceless no more, she jests, unveiling plots from Associ slavers bitter over Stannis reforms. One attempt on Jon's life fails when Ghost intervenes, the direwolf's descendants forming a pack that roams the Wolfswood. Bran, the three-eyed king, abdicates fully to the council after a decade, retreating to the Isle of Faces. His Greenseer network weirwoods linked across realms, warns of threats. Daenerys dreams of return, he visions to Jon. Her madness fades, but ambition burns. Jon sends Davos, retired but ever loyal, as envoy. Offer truce, old friend. Blood need not spill again. Daenerys, in Pentos, has rebuilt. Free cities allied under her banner, unsullied reformed into guardians. Regret tempers her letters to Jon confess. I was fire unchecked, forgive an aunt's folly. She weds a merchant prince, birthing heirs with violet eyes. Dragon's nest in the east, but one Rhaegal flies west, drawn to Jon's blood. It perches on Winterfell's towers, a symbol of uneasy peace. Tyrion's southern reforms flourish. Sewers drain King's Landing's filth. Schools teach small folk. Councils rotate power. No more mad kings, he toasts with Jon during a visit. Jaime Lannister, graying, trains knights in honor. You spared me, Wolf, I repay in steel. Yet shadows creep. Euron Greyjoy's artifacts, studied in the Citadel, unleash minor magic storms, batter coasts. Ballads of the Kraken's Horn inspire rebels. In the Iron Islands, a faction rises, claiming Valyrian blood. Yara quells it, but Theon knighted and redeemed dies defending Pike. For the Starks, his last words. Religious harmony frays. R'hllor temples and ports clash with old gods' devotees. Melisandre's sect in Dorne preaches return of the Red God, converting sand snakes. Jon mediates, forbidding forced faith. Believe as you will, but harm none. Economic booms sustain. Obsidian mines in Skagos trade for Dornish wine. Wildling furs fetch gold in Bravos. White Harbor's fleet, expanded with Ironborn designs, patrols against slavers. Prosperity binds better than chains, Jon decrees. As Jon nears his end, a comet streaks the same as his birth. A sign, Val had said before passing. He visits the crypts, speaking to Ned's statue. Father, I chose family over vows. Was it right? Visions comfort. Stannis approving, Lyanna smiling. Ghost, ancient and blind, curls at his feet one last time. Jon passes peacefully, buried beside Val under the weirwood. The north mourns, bonfires lighting. Horizons, Rhaegar ascends, dragon at his side. The Stark endures, he vows, but in whispers, alternate fates linger. What if Rickon had returned sooner? In one branch, the wild boy of Skagos arrives with Osha, challenging Jon's rule. Lords split, Manderly's back trueborn blood, clansmen Jon's deeds. A council averts war, Jon renouncing for warden role, mentoring Rickon. The North unites, but religious tensions with Stannis erupt. Godswood burned, old gods faithful rebel. Stannis falls sooner, his southern march faltering without full support. Or if Jon's resurrection tied him deeper to Melisandre. Flames consume his doubts, enforcing R'hllor in the north. Wildlings convert or flee, clans revolt. The long night drags longer, losses mount without unity. Daenerys allies against him, seeing fire's tyranny. What if Stannis demanded the Godswoods burning post-victory? Jon refuses, fracturing alliance. Stannis besieges Winterfell anew, Boltons resurgent in chaos. The others breach earlier, the realm falls to ice. In another divergence, Jon Targaryen reveals Spark's southern claims. Dany weds him forcibly. Dragons nesting in Winterfell. United, they crush Cersei swiftly, but madness claims her King's Landing burns. Jon exiles her, ruling as Aegon, north absorbed into 7 kingdoms. Independence lost, but peace ironclad. Fan theories abound. Some posit Jon's oath-breaking alienates the Watch, wall falls undefended. Others see stronger north, toppling Lannisters early. Stannis as king with Jon as hand. Debates rage on legitimacy. Stannis' decree versus Robb's will complicating heirs. Yet in our path, balance holds. Jon's yes forges hope amid grimness. Decades later, Rhaegar's son named Ned rules, dragons patrolling skies. Associ invasions test borders, but alliances repel. Bran's visions guide, cycles turn, prepare. The song of ice and fire harmonizes, Stark's eternal guardians. In the heart of Winterfell, a new generation gathers in the Great Hall, maps spread before them. Ned Stark too, with his grandmother Sansa's cunning and great-uncle Arya's wanderlust, pores over reports from beyond the sunset sea. Aunt Arya's maps speak of lands rich in weirwood-like trees, he says to his council. Wildling chieftains nod, mountain clan elders grunt approval. The pack has grown diverse giants, hammering forges, crannogmen whispering secrets from the neck. News from the south, Bran's council fractures over trade disputes with Braavos. Tyrion, ancient and witty, mediates via Raven. Send dragon glass, wolf pup, debts repaid in kind. Ned dispatches shipments, bolstering alliances. Daenerys' descendants arrive as envoys, violet-eyed and proud. Grandmother sends regards, the young Khaleesi says. Essos thrives, but we seek northern steel. Ned hosts them. Tales of Jon and Dany, shared over mead. Blood binds us, he toasts. A marriage alliance seals it his sister to their prince, blending houses anew. Religious schisms test unity, a R'hllor uprising in White Harbor, fueled by Melisandre's. Old texts, Ned quells it mercifully, exiling leaders to Dorne. Faith-free, but peace paramount. Economic veins pulse. Skagos unicorns bred for southern knights. Gift farms yielding hardy crops. Trade with new western ports brings wonders glowing stones. Flying beasts tamed as mounts. Military vigilance. Rangers report stirrings beyond the old wall white remnants. Ned leads an expedition. Dragonfire melting ice horrors. The cold remembers. He echoes Jon's words. Familial threads weave tight, Sansa's line visits, Riverland trout banners fluttering. Arya's successors, adventurers all bring artifacts. A faceless coin, a sunset sword. Bran's weirwood whispers counsel, watch the east. As centuries unfold, Jon's choice echoes in ballads. The bastard who bent, the north that rose. Thrones forgotten, councils endure. Westeros evolves independent kingdoms linked by pacts, dragons wild guardians. But threats eternal, a new Night King rises in fan whispers, or Stannis' line claims old thrones. In our tale, Stark stand ready, reflections on divergences. If Jon resisted Melisandre fully, no resurrection. Death at Winterfell, north falls to Boltons. Stannis burns alone, defeated, others overrun. If Rickon lives dominant, Jon is regent mentors, but envy brews assassination, civil war, North weakens, Long Night claims all. If Stannis enforces faith, North rebels, Jon caught between. Exile or execution, legacy tarnished. If Dany conquers unchallenged, tyranny reigns. Jon's exile sparks resistance, guerrilla wars endless. Theories highlight Jon's arc shifts from lone wolf to pack leader, but oath-breaking scars, soul. Stannis' flexibility, rare, key to success. North's pragmatism over honor saves realm. As the centuries unfold in this alternate Westeros, the echoes of Jon Stark's decision to accept Stannis Baratheon's offer continue to shape the world in profound ways, creating a legacy that blends the unyielding honor of the North with the fiery ambition of forgotten bloodlines. Ned Stark II, grandson of Jon and Val, sits in Winterfell's Great Hall, his council a tapestry of diverse faces, wildling elders with braided beards, mountain clansmen in fur cloaks, crannogmen with their secretive eyes, and even a Dornish envoy bearing gifts of spiced wine. The young lord pores over ancient maps, his fingers tracing lines drawn by Arya Stark's own hand from her voyages beyond the Sunset Sea. Great-grandmother's charts speak of lands where trees bleed red sap like weirwoods, Ned says, his voice steady but laced with wonder. A wildling chieftain, descendant of Tormund, nods gravely. Aye, and beasts with horns that pierce the sky. We should send ships. The council debates, voices rising like the winds off the shivering sea, but Ned tempers them with Jon's taught wisdom. Explore, but protect home first. Ned's rule exemplifies the blended heritage Jon forged. His Targaryen blood, long a family secret, manifests subtly an affinity for the dragons that now nest in the hot springs. Beneath Winterfell, the hatchling from Tyrion's egg has grown into a sleek beast named Ghostfire, its scales white as snow with red veins, ridden only by those of Stark blood. Ned uses it sparingly for patrols against lingering threats from the lands of Always Winter, where scouts report eerie blue lights flickering in the eternal ice. The others are dust, Ned assures his people in a speech from the battlements, but vigilance is our blood. His siblings contribute. Sister Vallyra, a ranger like her namesake grandmother, leads expeditions to Skagos, bartering unicorn horns for southern silks. Brother Rhaegon studies in White Harbor, unraveling Sam's old tomes on the cycles of seasons. The long night returns every 1,000 years, he warns in letters home. Ned heeds, stockpiling dragon glass and forging alliances with giants, whose massive forges hammer out siege engines against hypothetical horrors. Far south, Bran's council in King's Landing, renamed Unity Hall, navigates the Confederation of Kingdoms with a delicate hand. Trade disputes once threatened fracture, but Tyrion Lannister's reforms hold. Rotating representatives ensure no single house dominates. Schools breed literate small folk who question lords, and sewers keep the city from festering like old. We broke the wheel, Tyrion writes in his memoirs, sent north as a gift, but wheels have a way of rebuilding. Jaime Lannister's descendants serve as Kingsguard equivalents, their golden hands symbolic of redemption. Davos Seaworth's line commands the fleets, patrolling against pirates who sing of Euron Greyjoy's ghost. The Kraken sleeps, a ballad goes, but his horn echoes in storms. Daenerys Targaryen's Eastern Empire becomes a counterpoint to Westeros' peace. Her descendants, violet-eyed and dragon-riding, rule a league of free cities, abolishing slavery root and branch. The young Khaleesi, who visited Winterfell, returns as queen, her marriage to Ned's cousin sealing a pact. Grandmother Dany regretted her fire, she confides during a feast. She sent Rhaegal west as atonement. Stories exchange. Jon's mercy in exile. Stannis reforms turning Essos into a beacon. But tensions simmer. Essosi merchants eye Westerosi mines, and border skirmishes test unsullied resolve. Ned mediates via Raven, invoking Jon's words. Blood binds, but wisdom unites. Religious undercurrents flow through the realms. R'hllor temples dot ports, their fires warming sailors, but clashes with old gods faithful erupt in White Harbor. Ned quells an uprising with mercy, exiling zealots to Dorne, where Melisandre's sect thrives among sand snakes. Faith-free, he decrees an edict, harm none. Ballads honor this, the wolf who tamed flames. Shireen Baratheon's line, wed into Stark's, preserves Stannis' iron will in council roles, their scarred faces reminders of sacrifice averted. Economic veins pulse strong. The new gifts farms yield hardy grains, traded for Dornish fruits. Skagos mines obsidian, forged into blades sold to Bravos. Wildling crafts intricate bone carvings. Enchanted-seeming furs fetch gold in eastern markets. White Harbor's expanded fleet, blending ironborn longships with Manderly galleons, dominates the narrow sea. Prosperity chains better than iron, Ned echoes Jon, investing in glass gardens that bloom even in winter's depths. Military evolutions safeguard this. Northern Rangers, a mix of wildlings and kneelers, patrol the old wall's ruins, armed with dragonglass and Valyrian steel scavenged from fallen foes. Area Shadow Guard trains women and men in faceless arts, foiling assassins from bitter slaver holds. Dragon riders among Stark heirs provide aerial might, their beasts deterring invasions. Council armies rotate, collective security binding kingdoms. A Dothraki charge, halted by northern pikes in one skirmish, fostering respect. Familial threads weave ever tighter. Sansa's descendants visit from the Eyrie, their diplomatic court's hubs for summits. The game evolves to words over swords, a Riverlands heir says, toasting with Tully trout banners fluttering. Arias, explorers bring wonders, glowing stones from western jungles, flying mounts tamed as scouts. Bran's Weirwood network whispers counsel, east stirs watch. Indeed, Stannis line eyes old claims, but marriages avert war. As Ned ages, a comet streaks a new sign of cycles. He visits crypts, speaking to Jon's statue. Ancestor, your yes spent fate, we endure. Visions comfort, Val smiling, Stannis nodding. Ghost descendants howl in chorus, but alternate branches haunt scholars' tomes. What if Rickon returned dominant? In that path, the wild Skagozi boy arrives with Osha, challenging Jon's legitimization. Lords divide, Manderly's champion trueborn blood, clans back Jon's victories. A bloody council ensues, Jon yielding as regent, mentorship blooms, but envy festers, poison claims Jon. Civil war ravages north. Stannis, unsupported, burns Godswood in desperation, alienating all. Others breach sooner. Realm succumbs to ice. Ballads lament, the wolf pups bite. Or if Jon embraced Melisandre's flames fully, resurrection ties him to Red God, doubts consumed, Ruller enforced, wildlings convert or perish, clans revolt in old God's name, long night prolongs, unity shattered, Daenerys allies against fiery tyranny, dragons clashing over Winterfell, Jon falls as zealot king, legacy ash. What if Stannis demanded Godswood's pyre post-victory? Jon's refusal splinters alliance. Stannis besieging anew. Bolton's resurgence in chaos. North bleeds. Others exploit weakness. Wall crumbles early. Westeros freezes eternal. Survivors fleeing to Essos under Stannis' banner. In a brighter divergence, Jon's Targaryen reveal ignites southern fervor. Dany weds him. Dragons nesting north. United, they crush Cersei and Moons, but her madness burns King's Landing. Jon exiles her, ruling as Aegon. North absorbed. Independence lost, but peace ironclad under Stark Targaryen dynasty. Thrones reformed, councils early, yet resentment brews in wildlings. Free folk uprising challenging Kneeler's rule. Fan scrolls debate, Jon's oath-breaking scars. Watch, wall falls undefended in some tales. Others envisioned Stannis enthroned, Jon as Iron Hand. Lannisters toppled swift, long night averted easier. Legitimacy wars, Stannis' decree versus Robb's will. Heirs clashing in courts, yet in our chronicle, equilibrium reigns. Jon's acceptance crafts hope from grim threads. Stark's guardians eternal, fires tempered, wheels shattered. Decades hence, Ned's great-grandchild rules. Dragons soaring over thriving north. Essosi fleets approach not in war, but trade. Bran's visions fade, but wisdom lingers. Choices echo, the saga seals. Jon Stark's, yes, a fulcrum tilting fate to light, endless what-ifs branch. But here, ice and fire entwine in harmony. These frameworks, drawn from chronicles, illuminate Jon's pivot from bastard to beacon. Scholars note counter-arguments. Some argue Jon's choice weakens Watch fatally, others overwhelming sooner without his command. Walls fall inevitable, they claim, citing canon resilience. Others posit Stannis' rigidity dooms any alliance. Jon's yes futile. Debates fill halls, but evidence leans to strengthen North, averted tragedies. In closing, Jon Stark's acceptance weaves a richer tapestry, honor prevailing, families enduring, realms balanced. The night yields to dawn, theories eternal, but this path illuminates possibility. And so, our epic what-if concludes. What divergences intrigue you? Share below, perhaps we'll explore another branch. Until next theory, winter may come, but Starks endure.